Hey, it's such a pleasure to have you there. It's wonderful to have this beautiful guest in the studio today, Chawne Page. Meet Chawne Page, the dynamic executive director for the Waterloo Center for the Arts. Sean's journey with the center began in 2001 when he kicked things off by revamping the museum's brand and marketing materials. Yes. Years, he's worn many hats from digital arts manager to creator and now leads the entire organization. As curator, Sean has coordinated exhibitions, public art projects, and events that showcase everything from Haitian Caribbean art to American regionalist works. In December of 2023, he stepped into his role as executive director, and he now leads the River Loop Association as well, managing events at the River Loop Amphitheater. When he's not inspiring the arts community at the museum, Sean is creating his own stunning artwork and working to elevate the local art scene. He's also active in various boards, including the Iowa Arts Council and the Community Foundation of Northeast Iowa. With a BFA in printmaking and graphic design from UNI, Sean's career has been a mix of creativity, leadership, and a deep passion for the arts. He's even had an artist residency in the Bahamas. Woo! Doesn't get much better than that. Whether it's behind the scenes or through his own artistic endeavors, Sean always brings something special to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chawne Page.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Oh my gosh, what a pleasure it is to have you here with me. So tell me, what was your earliest experience with art? How old were you?
Wow, early experience with art. You know, my mom has this wonderful picture of me of an exhibit that I had work in that was at at a mall in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Really?
And so I want to say I was in preschool, and I remember having like the first piece of artwork on display for the public. Though I would like to say that like I was very aware of that, but you know, I came across that photo back when I was probably like 18 or 16, like doing photos and stuff like that. By which that time I had already knew that I wanted to be an artist, even though I had a love for math and engineering and everything else. I mean, but the arts really kind of sunk in right there at high school.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love that so much. Speaking of childhood, do you have any fun childhood stories that you can share with us?
Maybe I'll spare the ones that I wouldn't tell my mom. So.
Yeah, okay, that'd be good.
You know, I was a military kid. And
Okay.
I was left to my own devices a lot of times. My dad was always gone. My mom was working another job, and I spent most of my life, you know, not necessarily in Iowa, but by the ocean, on one of the coasts, east or west, but mainly on the East Coast. And I remember leaving out early in the morning and going fishing and going crabbing and whatnot when I was 10. And then I would come home and I would take all of the seafood basically that I mean, this is all saltwater fish, and then I would like have to clean it. My mom was like, "Hey, if you catch it, you need to clean it."
I love it.
So you know that would start, and then later on, this was the part that was actually so funny. So then later on in the evening, we would go shrimping at night, and so you have to sit there like wait out in the ocean and like. You know, have flashlights so you can actually see the eyes of the shrimp, and then take this. I mean, I was 10, and I had this 10-foot cast net that I would have to throw out into the ocean. I'd pull in all of these shrimp, and then basically, like all the stuff would have to sit on ice by the time I got home. And then the next morning, my mom was like, "Well, are you going to get to cleaning?" And so it was a fun adventure, but for the most part, we would have all types of seafood. When I was a kid in the morning, we'd have a huge, basically like kind of fish fry.
Ooh, nice.
It was our adventurous. But I loved being out in nature and being outdoors, and more specifically, and probably most importantly, I love being by the ocean.
That's so beautiful. I love it so much. Now, this moment is so ominous when you see their eyes. Was that hard for you?
I mean, as a kid, I was thinking, popcorn shrimp,
Yeah,
butterfly shrimp,
right.
baby shrimp scampi.
Yeah,
Today,
yeah.
as an adult, I'm 100% vegan, so I wouldn't necessarily
Oh,
say that I'd be out there with the cast net catching shrimp anymore. I'd be
yes,
like,
yes.
no catch and release, or just don't catch at all. Just enjoy them from afar.
Right, right.
Our oceans are already kind of plagued by enough
Yeah,
debris
yeah, yeah.
and chaos.
There you go. That's fun. Okay, so let's talk about your bucket list. I assume you have one, and if so, what is on that list, Chawne?
Oh gosh, I have a lot of things on my bucket list. Really, I'm still aspiring to be an amazing father for my kids.
Yeah, oh,
I think
beautiful.
that is a ongoing kind of. You have to work at it.
Yes.
It doesn't just like kind of happen.
No.
To the same end, I would love to be at the same caliber as a husband to my wife. But then, as an artist, of course, I mean, there's like still like art projects that I absolutely have to get done and work on, and
Sure.
and being a dad and a wife, or I mean, a dad and a husband.
Yes.
Dad and a husband and running an organization. There's not enough time.
Yes,
There's
of
not enough
course
time
not.
for kind of creative expression. So I'm just like kind of waiting until those kids kind of get old enough and instill a good value to kind of stand on their own.
I love it.
And thrive in the community, and still I'll be able to get back into the studio and make some artwork.
Yes. When in the studio, what is your medium of choice?
Ooh, I don't know that I have a choice.
Ooh.
I would say I probably lean more on trying to figure out ideas. I was a printmaking digital artist. I've done murals, I've done sculpture, I've done sound, video,
Wow.
I've done photography, I've done all kinds of.
You've done it
different
all.
mediums. And so I don't really, I don't think of the medium as much as what type of problem or idea that I want to express
Yes.
or series of things that I'm working on. I mean, that's
Nice.
probably more of what I would focus on first. So then if it ends up being a mural on the wall, well, then it's a mural on the wall.
Right.
If it ends up being 60 pieces for a gallery, it's that. If it's a sound and video installation, it all depends on what strikes my fancy at the time I'm working.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love it. So tell me, do you have any pet peeves? And if so, what are they?
Oh, pet peeves. I have some pet peeves. I would say probably the biggest one is those that feel that they're not creative. I really think that everybody has the capacity to have some type of connection to their inner voice and their inner idea and who they are, and can in some way channel that into some type of an expression. And in that sense, people saying that they're not creative or that they're not artists is kind of a false narrative, I feel.
I agree.
And part of the work that I'm in is connecting people into the arts and hopefully finding a way to connect them to like this inner creativity, this inner creative thread within their being that they have a voice in whatever medium that they're wanting to express it. It could be, written, it could be music, it could be, singing, it could be dancing,
Yes.
it could be, even gardening or whatnot. I mean, I think at some point, like having something that you're passionate about and that you put your all in has the ability to kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say like quiet, but more like amplify like who your essence and who you are as a person.
Yes.
And that there's like health
Beautiful.
benefits to that, I believe.
Oh,
I
gosh,
think,
yes.
God forbid you would be sitting there and like have something that like is sitting in the back of your mind and in your ideas, and you have no way of working through it and no way to express it, and it just hovers there in you. It's like, no, find some type of outlets, find some type of alchemy of like kind of traversing those thoughts into something is something that I want to support in whatever medium it is.
That's
it could be
beautiful.
Stacking sticks or like building, tents out in the woods and living off the land, whatever it is.
Yes.
There's something for everybody within creativity.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I love it so much. So tell me, do you have any plans for this summer, Chawne?
Plans for me or plans for the art center?
Both.
Both. Oh
Yes.
gosh. For the summer, I'm looking for a wonderful time with my kids. Of
Yay.
course, hit up all the amusement parks, water parks. Any type of
Yes.
outdoor kayaking
Right.
experiences. Maybe even taking a couple bouldering / rock climbing adventures, hiking with my kids.
Yes.
But because of my job, I do events, and
Yeah.
running at the Waterloo Center of the Arts, we have a whole slate of summer events, from free concerts on the amphitheater. We have free festivals on the amphitheater. We're going to be celebrating Haitian Flag Day. We're going to be celebrating Fiesta. Eventually, we're going to be celebrating Boston Heritage Day. We're going to have Mayor's Fireworks going to be coming out.
Yes.
And we have this brand new kind of really vibrant festival that's new this year. It's going to be happening on June 14th. That's called Chroma 63 Midwest Art and Sound. It is going to be a free arts and music festival. We'll have almost over 15 bands performing on the amphitheater, and the upwards of almost 50 artists that are going to have their works for sale on the amphitheater as well.
Oh,
it is
yes.
Be the time of the kind of Cedar Valley life, for anybody that loves music, that loves creative, expression. We are going to be partnering with the Skateboard Association. We're going to be partnering with Cedar Valley Crawlers. We're going to be partnering with various different tattoo artists, local businesses in downtown, artists and all. We're all going to have a fun time. It's going to be wild. It's going to be great.
And you said it's a free concert?
It's a free concert.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? I love it so much. So tattoo artists, that's cool.
The whole premise of the event itself is bringing that underground to life. It's the idea of arts being expressed and being presented without a mute. And so there's so many creatives, there's so many artists and musicians and songwriters and performers that are in the Cedar Valley that though they have places, there's limited places for them to perform.
Right.
Not very often do you have a museum or a city municipality that's like, hey, look, we want to amplify these voices that are right here within our community and have them be front stage and be treated just like any other kind of like touring national act that would be coming through, that we would roll out all the red carpet. And I'm like, well, let's roll out the red carpet to the creatives that are right here within Cedar Valley. Oh
my gosh, that is so beautiful. I love it. And you are instrumental in getting the Limelight series going with local creatives.
I don't know if I would say I'm instrumental. I was a part of the early conversations in those days.
Sweet.
Working with the Community Foundation and University of Northern Iowa.
Oh, I love it.
Limelight, has this, or I would say the premise behind Limelight has this ability to really put a marketing arm to what the arts, how the arts really are instrumental to the Cedar Valley. And like, in a way, it's an advocacy kind of group. It's a marketing group. But at the bottom line, it's like a way for like artists and creatives to kind of network and connect and see various different resources, know the different venues that can present their art, their performance, their writing, their music, their theater, live, the whole bit. But then at the same time, who are those artists that are in Cedar Valley? It ends up being a way for there to be a directory for those that don't know that there are creatives that are alive and well in Waterloo, Cedar Falls, and Evansdale, and Waverly, etc. That how do you get access to these artists, and how do you engage them in various different projects? So it's an attempt to kind of bridge the gap between the idea of a development of a community and people wanting a vibrant and creative, expressive, like kind of downtown. How do you get those creatives in there so that they can be doing murals and so they can be doing public art and be kind of integral to the ongoing development of communities? I mean, it's not to say that Limelight is fully in charge of all of that, but they are definitely one of the seeds to kind of fertilize that field of like kind of really fostering and pushing the arts in Cedar Valley. Amen.
And I had the honor and the pleasure of attending last night's event at the Ragged Edge Art Gallery. And I wasn't able to stay long because I had another event going on over at Georgia's local event, being my dear friend Ambry and I having our every 6-month dinner. And it happened to fall on the same night. And then our dear friend Jared Gadsden joined us, and it happened to be his birthday. So it's like, what a beautiful night it was all around. But back to the Ragged Edge, when we started with the Limelight Creatives, I had such a beautiful conversation with Corey Hurlis, who's the executive director of the Her Center for the Arts. And, we're all partners together. And I know that you understand that. And that's why she's there. And that's why you weren't there. At least I didn't see you there last night. But
No, I wasn't, but I
typically,
think I had staff members. No, you know what? I don't know that I had staff there, because we had another event,
oh,
where
you
our
did?
permanent collection and
Oh,
our Haitian collection actually traveled to the Figgy, and so there was a
really?
major
Oh,
exhibition gallery talk at the Figgy, and so
oh,
our
cool.
curators and such. I was actually supposed to be at that event,
Yeah,
and had to kind of
yeah,
stay
of
local
course.
because of the world's greatest spring break weekend.
Yes,
So
yes, of course. That's
there's always
beautiful.
something.
There's always something.
Always something
Yes,
happening throughout the Cedar Valley and throughout the state. So,
absolutely. So if someone viewing wants to be a part of Limelight, how do you propose they do that?
oh gosh, I'm probably, I would say I'm like the wrong person to ask. But
Oh,
I would say going to Limelight's website
okay.
would
Yeah,
be the best
there you
way to
go.
kind of get involved. There still are some representatives that are over at the Community Foundation of Northeast Iowa. I know, Limelight is made up of a lot of arts professionals throughout the
Hmm.
community that are representing various different organizations.
Beautiful.
For the longest time, I know that under the leadership of Chris Hale, uh,
Oh,
they would
yes.
probably be one of the individuals that I would contact.
There you go.
To
Yes.
at least kind of get involved and kind of
Right.
figure out what's happening, what
Yep.
the next steps are
Yep.
for that organization.
Exactly. Chris Hale's amazing. I work with them for marketing for their upcoming season, and we always work closely together. So, yeah, and Chris is actually the one that invited me to be a part of Limelight, and I'm so grateful to him for that and for so many other things. So, if somebody even wants just to reach out to me, I'll get you in touch with the people. So, Vicki at koloffmedia.com. Again, Vicki at COLLOFF media.com. I'll get you in touch with Chris because they'd love to help you.
You need a sign.
Yeah, there you go. I need a sign. I could write it in lipstick like I do when I'm requesting a song. Oh, Kelly O'Shea's on Saturday night. I do. I don't have a pen in my purse. Here's my lipstick. I want to hear this. And they just laugh about it. I could do that.
You have to put it all over the camera.
Uh-huh. Go all over the camera. That's funny. I love it. So tell me, what about career-related endeavors?
Career-related endeavors.
Yes.
Being going into museum work. I mean, I wanted to be an artist. Still am an artist
Yes.
and designer, printmaker, and stuff like that. So to be kind of an executive director for a museum, is definitely like kind of a non-traditional
Right.
trajectory for a museum professional.
Yes.
But regardless,
Mhm.
I love what I do,
Right.
and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I would say like kind of one of the things that I'm like actually really excited career wise, that kind of came up, is I got selected as guest curator for an exhibit that's going to be opening up on April 18th at the Des Moines Arts Center.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Here, really soon, next month, the show, The Light Within Ourselves.
Oh,
Haitian art in Iowa.
nice.
It is a small but very mighty, powerful exhibit that's opening up in the Blank Gallery
Wow.
at the Des Moines Arts Center, and it's featuring
Sweet.
about 15 works from the Haitian art collection at the Waterloo Center for Arts.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that all come about with Des Moines?
They actually have a bigger exhibit that's going to be opening in the main gallery.
Okay.
Featuring the artist Furley.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Anyhow, Furley is a Dominican and Haitian descent artist
See.
that is doing a major installation of
Ooh.
different work about their culture and about women and
Ah, sweet.
There. And so part of her narrative and part of her heritage is Haiti. And
Nice.
so there was that opportunity to the Des Moines Arts Center kind of saw to kind of tap into the different resources of the Waterloo Center Arts having a collection that we have, being one of the largest public collections of Haitian artwork in the world, definitely in the United States. As is there a narrative? Is there a kind of story? Is there a way that we can kind of like add to kind of further provide deeper understanding of Haitian culture, deeper understanding of kind of like what's going on with that particular Caribbean nation and its history and its ancestry. And so what better way than to have that conversation with art at an art center through works within our collection. And so the pieces that are selected are kind of meant to really dig into the narrative of Haitian art, and kind of a couple different guardrails about like just the sheer vibrant and diverse notion of art making that happens in Haiti. And so everything from Haitian flags to Haitian medals, paintings, different schools of different paintings, sculptures, and devotional objects and alike. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful things that are going to be in that show. And my hope is that at least for this podcast and for everybody that wants to kind of see like some of the things that I'm up to and what our team is up to, hey, get down to Des Moines. The show is going to be open from April 18th through September 7th.
Ooh, yes.
We're going to be doing a gallery talk. Being part of a panel on April 26th.
Sweet.
And so that's really, really, really kind of exciting. I'm a little bit nervous about like all the things that I have to make sure that I have lined up to kind of talk about, kind of just different points, different things about Haiti's history. And about their work and about our collection and why Haitian artwork in Iowa. We are one of two institutions in Iowa that have a major collection of Haitian artwork. Waterloo Symphony Arts being one, and there's Vicki and Davenport being the other.
Wow. Very, very cool. So will that panel be broadcast somehow, do you think? Or
I think I'm sure that the Des Moines Arts Center is going to be recording it and streaming it.
Beautiful.
I imagine it's probably going to be on Facebook Live. If anything, I know that it's going to turn into a YouTube
very cool
video kind of document as well.
How lovely.
I'm really, really excited with that show. There's going to be some catalogs that are going to be available for it. There's also going to be a website that's being created through a partnership with Grinnell College, the Haitian Digital Crossroads project that we're doing with Grinnell. Part of that project is working with students to kind of work with a team of curators and digital curators and programmers to build a major database that will be open to the public and to Haiti, and basically like kind of shedding the light on like kind of this hidden cultural heritage and this hidden collection. The project itself, was springboarded off of the Waterloo Symphony Arts collection, and is going to grow into encompassing a number of collections around. I want to say around the entire United States, as well as connecting to the Centre and Haiti as well. So I mean, there's lots of work to come with that project. I know it's going to officially launch this fall.
Wonderful. How beautiful. So we can go from Des Moines to Waterloo and get all the Haitian art. And you said the what day of the week or what day of the month is it opening in Des Moines?
April 18th.
April 18th. Perfect. So in June is when they typically have the Des Moines Art Show. And I love that event. I'm sure you've been to it too numerous times. Yeah, they always have a nice band too. So if you go to the Des Moines Art Show, then step over to the Des Moines Art Gallery as well.
Yeah, and Furley Baez's work is going to be on display at that time as well in June. So you'll be able to take
and that's usually the last weekend of June for the Des Moines Art Show. Unfortunately, it conflicts with Sturgis Falls, but you can do both, which is what I intend to do. I typically always do it, both of them, because I love them so much, both events. So let's talk about your pet peeves. Got any?
I, I think we already talked about my pet peeves.
We did on this on the podcast. We did it on the radio show.
We had talked about creativity.
Yes, it was.
I think everybody has access to their creative expression.
There you go.
They really do.
Yes.
And for those of you who say that they don't, come down to the art center. I'll teach you something.
There you go. That's right. Everyone is an artist. Oh my gosh. When I was in high school, I did my side gig. Well, I worked during the day. I worked at Arts and Crafts. With Tom Nickel owned that at Crossroads Center, and I was able to help all the artists find their art materials, and I loved it so much. And then my night job, because I've always had two jobs, my night job was doing art or doing portraits for anyone who would commission me for $50 a piece, and that's big money back then. Trust me, that's a lot of money, and I enjoyed doing that so much. And my medium of choice at that time was pastel. And it still is. I love pastel. It's just kind of soft and kind of like a Gary Kelly thing, just kind of soft and warm. And yeah, I mean, I still love doing those portraits. Right now, what my daughter has asked me to do is to paint a replication of Dorothea Lange's Migrant Mother, the photograph from the Great Depression. It's a black and white photograph that when I was teaching at UNI, teaching humanities, I would give extra credit to my students who would go out and see a major work of art, take a selfie, do one of these with it, send it to me. I just give them extra credit. Right. And that's one that she identified with so deeply. She said, Mama, it's sort of like you raising all of us kids on our own, but we're not in the Great Depression, thank goodness. So she's asked me to replicate that in a huge piece that's going to hang on their new home's dining room wall.
That's really cool.
I'm so excited. So that's my project for the summer. What's your project, your next art project?
Oh, my next art project. I just want to get through the summer.
That's a project in and of itself.
Not to be wild or anything. I mean, we have just like so many events, so many exhibitions, and so many concerts and festivals that are happening. I don't know that I can like kind of take on another creative project.
Of course
aside from,
not.
Like, putting on some amazing events at the Art Center.
There you go.
I'm gonna put a pin in that for like aspirational kind of thoughts.
There you go.
Maybe make some great creative meals for a while.
Yes, creative meals are beautiful. So you actually like to cook?
Oh yeah, I absolutely love to cook.
Oh, I didn't know that about you. How creative. Yes.
One of the things that what's really interesting being vegan is trying to think about like all of the kind of like family recipes that I've had over the years.
Yeah.
And how to I have vivid memories of me being a kid and my mom teaching me how to make homemade rolls.
Ooh.
And these homemade rolls were passed down to her from her mom. And
beautiful.
And I remember being a kid in the kitchen when my mom was making those rolls and biscuits at different times when my grandmother was still alive.
Nice.
And so for years, like that was like, Thanksgiving and Christmas and various different holidays, like my mom would make this giant pan of like these homemade rolls. They were like kind of southern sweet rolls.
Sweet.
And there was like one year I was like, hey Mom, I need to find a way because I want to enjoy them again. I need to be able to make those vegan.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and we basically like a chemistry event.
Oh,
yes. Over the course of the whole weekend, trying to figure out like how to make these rolls.
I love that.
And it worked. It did work. We figured it out.
Oh my gosh.
And so years later, I wrote it down on like a napkin or something, and it got like stained. And some of the ingredients kind of like got like kind of mixed up. So now I need to kind of like retool it again.
Yes.
So, but like that's just like one. I mean, I love trying to make great food.
Yes.
And for those that are out there that think like, oh well, vegan food is like, well, where's the protein? Where's the butter? Where's the eggs? Where's all of that?
Mhm.
You know, I think at the root of making great food, it doesn't matter if it's vegan,
Yeah.
or dairy or whatnot. Like none of
Right.
that matters.
Yes.
Making great food is making great food that
Oh,
tastes good.
yes.
And so there's so many different cultures and so many different foods that naturally are made vegan that a lot of people don't know about. And that's something that when I find something like a Spanish beans and rice dish that normally has a lard or a sausage or beef or chicken broth or something that's in like, hey, how do I make that just as good, just as rich, just as bright and flavorful without using animal products?
There you
so
go.
I do that for a number of things. I love cooking for my family and beyond. But that's just because I'm vegan doesn't necessarily mean I don't know how to cook meat.
Sure, of course.
So, most recently, I ended up making a fabulous pistachio cheesecake.
Oh, that sounds so good. Yes.
From scratch for my wife for her birthday. And even to this day, she still raves about like, hey, when are the next time you're going to make that?
Yeah, there you go. So you only made it the one time thus far.
Oh. And it was actually the first time I ever made a cheesecake. And so everybody that had it was just like raving about it.
I'm sure.
To my own horn.
No, of
I don't
course
know what it
not.
tastes like.
Yes.
I just know how to make it.
Yes. So you couldn't even taste it.
No.
Oh, how difficult would that be? I can't even imagine it. Building this empire and then walking away.
You know, arts can be transient.
Yeah, it's true.
I'd love to think that in making something for my family and making food and sitting down and actually cooking a dinner for someone, especially family, you know, part of the seasoning, part of the flavoring, part of why it probably tastes so good is the intention. You know, it's the intention and it's the love that's like kind of that's baked into the typical salt and pepper, garlic, or whatever it is.
Right.
Sugar. It's like there's no real extra sprinkle of anything. It's like if there was a way to say, oh, here's the love. Here's the love. The love is massaged into the bread. It's stirred into the pot of soup or whatever it is. But it makes me wonder if like food has like this way of being seasoned by intention and
I love this.
Yes. Maybe that's it. You know, maybe like going to restaurants and have really good food, like the chefs and the owners really love what they do. And they're just wanting to kind of share that. And this is why they have lots of people sitting at all their tables every time they're open.
Maybe. That's right. Oh my gosh. And I love to think about food as an art form and creating food. So I'll be having my whole family in for Easter coming up soon. And I just love having the whole family. I have them for every major holiday and they come with their appetites and it makes me happy. But to think about putting that love in there and that's what makes it so delicious. Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you. Absolutely. Brilliant. Mic drop.
Hey, you know, there was something I wanted to mention in the mix. I mean, it's not necessarily about summer, but since this is a spring show, it is March, and this is going to air in a very timely manner.
Yes.
For those of you who are listening and are watching and have kids that are getting ready to graduate from high school and thinking about where they're going to college, if you have any of those aspiring artists that want to go to the visual arts, I just want them to know that courtesy of Friends of the Arts Center, as well as the Hurley McCoy Memorial Fund, we have 2 scholarships that are available on the Waterloo Central Arts website.
Yes.
That typically had been $1,000 to a candidate within a 35-mile radius of the Waterloo Central Arts. Of a graduate that is going to be pursuing the visual arts.
That's beautiful.
It used to be $1,000, and so now, like I said, courtesy of Friends of the Arts Center, now the ante on both of those scholarships, 2 scholarships at $5,000.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing!
So plug the deadline for that. I think it's over on a piece of paper over there. I think this is April 25th.
Okay.
Get your applications in. You could go to Waterloo Central Arts webpage.
Okay.
It's in the folder.
It's in the folder. April 25th.
April 25th.
Yeah, there you go.
Definitely apply. I can't say this more about, like, you know, I think those that really have the capacity to be creative, and they should be encouraged to follow their passions and be fueled
Yes.
by opportunities where they arise to kind of nurture that creativity. So I
Exactly.
definitely, for every mom, every art teacher, every person, every
Yes.
grandparent, caregiver, whatever that
Mm.
has that kind of creative individual that
Yeah.
is like getting ready to go off and graduate and thinking about their future, hey, they should apply.
Yes, they should
They definitely
apply.
should apply. And if they're already out of school
Okay.
and are still creatives, and I mean that to one and all throughout the Senior Valley.
Yes.
May 11th
Okay.
is the deadline to apply to be a part of Chroma 63.
Oh.
So it's a call for artists that's also happening. So May 11th is our deadline for the selection of the artists that are going to be a part of the Arts and Music Festival that's going to be happening on June 14th.
Oh, how exciting. Something for everyone.
Absolutely.
That's so beautiful. Okay, so how can they find you, our viewers, on social media?
Oh, find me on social media. Oh gosh. So on Facebook, Waterloo Center for the Arts.
Okay.
Just type in Waterloo Center for Arts. For those that are interested in the Phelps Youth Pavilion, you can do Phelps Youth Pavilion.
There you go.
On Instagram, we are WCA and PYP. So both that's shorthand for Waterloo Center for the Arts and Phelps Youth Pavilion. Otherwise, you can also get to all of those through our website at waterloocenterforthearts.org.
Perfect. I love it. Any closing thoughts, Chawne?
I mean, I would say my most closing thought is like, hey, I wish everybody would be creative. I think that we should all kind of go through life without muting the arts whatsoever.
Yes, don't
though
mute
I
the
have
arts.
arts festivals that have like that same tagline, I still feel that creativity and expression and music and finding like your voice is extremely important. I think it's a great pause.
Yes.
And going after it,
Yes, go after
whether it is, being that a very impassioned mom that has, unbridled energy and like no time to do it, to like dig in and like hopefully find a way to kind of either do pastels, or do anything else. I mean, who knows? You could be out there making soap. You could be making quilts. Whatever it is.
That's right.
Find the time to really fuel that creative side of who you are.
It's so important. Absolutely. Chawne, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you here again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
thank
my
you,
pleasure.
everybody, for watching and listening, and have a great time.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.
Yes. Peace.
You gotta hit this end record.
Yes.
And did I end? Is it